Hello everyone, my name is Bhargavi and I'll be guiding you through this Tableau Functions. Okay, I have 16 plus years of experience in the software industry and I had started with Infosys as a mainframe developer. Later I had moved to data science and I've been working on data visualization for quite some time now. I've been associated with Edureka as a trainer for the past 6 years. Okay, so we begin with the actual topic where we talk about what is Tableau, what are the functions and all. So what is Tableau? Well, let's begin with our discussion. Tableau is basically a data visualization tool, which was designed by the software company named Tableau. Tableau itself designed Tableau, okay? Power BI is from Microsoft, whereas Tableau is by Tableau itself. It helps you to represent the data in a visual format. Basically taking tons of data and then converting it into a graphical format, pictorial format, so that it is easier for people to understand. The ones that we will be seeing today, Tableau functions. There are a lot of inbuilt functions which help us when we are writing the code. Code in the sense, not code exactly, some small formulae. Okay, and these functions, Tableau provides them in a very user-friendly manner. For example, if you check numerical functions. So most often we may have to manipulate the numbers to get the desired output from it. So how do you manipulate numbers? Is you can make use of these number functions. Okay, for example, if you want to obtain the absolute value of a number, then you must use ABS function, absolute. If you want to round off a number to the highest, to the nearest integer, okay, then you go with ceiling. If you want to find out what is the minimum value in the given data set, you go with minimum. You want to get what is the maximum, you go with it. You want to get the natural log of a number. You want to get log base 10, a number raised to the power of something in radians, round it off, obtain the square root, obtain the square of a number, right? Zn is when there is null, it replaces with zeros. So there are a lot of functions. So these functions are used in calculated fields in order to manipulate the data. And Tableau gives you a lot of support in the sense it does not just give you the name of the function and leave you there. It gives you the syntax, a description of what the function does, along with that an example. So we get so much support that we don't really need to be from a programming background. We're not writing lines and lines of code here. Simple, small formulae will be required in order to work and with our requirement to manipulate the data wherever necessary. Okay, so yeah, you don't have to be from a programming background. If you have basic knowledge of mathematics, that is enough. That is required anywhere. Whichever tool you learn, some basic logical ability and then mathematical ability should be there. Not very advanced statistics and all, right? So if you take ceiling, it will round off to the nearest greater value integer. So trigonometric functions also not much used. You can see that. Okay, so let me give you one small demo on numerical functions. These are all the numerical functions. Now you might say that we may not have access to this power presentation. Then how will we know what each function does? How to make use of the function, the description, the syntax? Tableau gives you all this inbuilt. All this information that you are seeing, it is actually there inbuilt in Tableau. Okay, so how do you access all this information? Let me show you. When you open Tableau, okay, you can install it by going to the link. If you do a Google search for download Tableau public, do a Google search for Tableau, download Tableau public, the very first link will take you to the website where you can give any email address of yours and then download it. If you're using a MacBook, you can just, it will take you to that link. Okay, automatically it will direct you to the page where you can download it for beginners. If you're learning Tableau, then you will use the Tableau free tool, which is Tableau Public. This is a free tool. And if you're using Power BI, there is a Power BI free version also, which you can download. Power BI Desktop is there, which you can download. So, and then there are many data sources that you can find on the internet, which you can use and explore the tools. For example, in Tableau, we use something called as Superstore quite extensively. Okay, to learn the concepts in Tableau. Now, how will you get the access to Superstore data source? Just Google search for download Superstore. Okay, and again, the very first link, sorry. Download Superstore for Tableau, the very first link that comes. Download Superstore for Tableau. Then you are taken to the Tableau community from where you can download this Excel file and use it for creating different reports. The Tableau public tool that I've asked you all to download, this one from this link, public.tableau.com, this is free for a lifetime. Okay, it is a free tool which you can use for free for lifetime. And here is Superstore. Okay, let me give you a small demo on how these functions are used in Tableau. Now, when we open Tableau and we connect to the data source and we use certain tables from the data source, we go to the worksheet. All right. Now, my requirement is, let us say, I want to check what is the maximum profit. So I'll go to analysis and create a calculated field to obtain the maximum profit. Now, how do I build a function? How do I write a formula? How do I write a statement to get the maximum value? So here we have the functions. Look at this. And functions are segregated into different types. Numerical functions, functions which help you manipulate string data, which help you manipulate dates, type conversion, data type conversion, logical, aggregate, user functions, table functions, spatial functions, so many other. If you go with number functions, look at this ABS. So that is why I was telling you don't need the presentation. When you go here, you can see the syntax, explanation, and an example. I need maximum, so I'll use a function called as max. Maximum value present in the profit column. So I'll enter the name of the field. Whatever is the maximum profit present in the profit column, I will get that by creating this. Apart from this, even if you do a Google search for Tableau functions, they are categorized based on their type. They are also categorized based on in an alphabetical order. So you have categorically arranged and you have them alphabetically arranged also. I think categorical arrangement would be better, right? You can go with number functions, then you can go with string functions. So however you want to open. You go to number functions, these are the list of functions. And for each function, you can see the syntax, the explanation, the example, everything. Right. When you do a Google search for Tableau Desktop functions, you will come here. Functions are not case sensitive. Instead of capital MAX, even if I give small MAX, it will work. Okay, instead of capital, if I go with small letters also, it will work. So this is going to give me the maximum profit. Let's check what is the maximum profit. So the maximum profit is 8,400. Okay, given my data, let's say I just need to identify what is the maximum profit made by the business. So there is a record with a profit of $41. Second transaction gave a profit of $219. Third transaction gave a profit of $6. Like that, when I check, what is the maximum profit? 8,400, 8399.98. Now, what if you want to check what is the minimum profit? You can create one more calculated field to get the minimum profit. Okay, get the minimum profit. So min profit. And let me show you the minimum profit. This is the minimum profit. Okay, what is the summation of profit? That comes by default. You don't have to write any formula. What is the average of profit? Suppose, then I'm going to create a calculated field. Average profit. AVG is the function of profit. The fields from your data source that you're using in the formulae, they will come with orange color and they are enclosed in square brackets. So this is going to tell me what is the average profit. Like that, we can, create things. We can get whatever we want from the data. Okay, I hope you're getting my point. So this is numerical functions which help you to manipulate the numbers. Then we have string functions which help us manipulate the string data. So many functions are there, each function with a different purpose. ASCII returns the ASCII code for the first character in the string. Character, given the ASCII code, it will give you the character. Contains, it will tell you whether or not a field contains a substring. Ends with, it will check whether a given string ends with a certain substring that you mention. Find the occurrence, index position of a substring. Where is this present? Okay. Find nth position. Like that, again, we have so many functions. Left function, right function, length will give the length of the string. Lower converts the string into lowercase. Upper converts it into uppercase. L trim removes the leading spaces. R trim removes the trailing spaces. Max can be used here also. It will give you the maximum based on the alphabetical sequence. So string manipulation. Okay, we can also split the function based on some delimiter, trim it. Let me give you one small demo. Let's say here, there is customer name. All right, there is customer name. And here we have customer name in which both first name and last name are put together. Now I want to trim it. I want to split it. I want to take only the first name or only the last name, then how to do it? So I go to that field. I don't even have to write a formula. Some features are inbuilt, transform and split. So Tableau has split it into the first name and the last name, 2 splits. Automatically it did. For example, let's say I have product ID and I want only the last 8 digits from this. I want the last 8 numbers. From the right side, the 8 numbers. So in that case, I can go create a calculated field. I'll just call this product ID number. I use the right function. From the right side of the members that are present in the product ID field, I need the 8 characters. So this will contain the 8 characters from the right, which happen to be numbers. Okay, that's how we manipulate string data. This is just the sample, one of the things that we do, one of the many things that we can do. Okay, let's come back here. So we can manipulate strings using different functions that are available. Similarly, date. There are many functions which will help us work with date fields. So how do we manipulate date? We can increment the date by using date add. We can get difference between 2 dates by using the date diff function. We can get the date name. We can get the date part. Okay, given a date field, you can truncate it to whatever level of detail you might want to. Day of the year. Whether a given date field is actually a date or not. Is it a valid date or not? If suppose, let's say you don't have date, you have separate fields for year, month and day, then how do we bring them together and create a date out of it? How do we create date and time? How do we split them? Suppose you have date and you have to take only the year part, you have to take only the month part, you have to take only the day part, the hour part, the minute part, the second part. That is also possible. Getting the timestamp with the now function, getting the date, current date with the today function, year part of the date. Okay, so how do we do this? For example, over here I have order date. Okay, now there are many orders placed by the customers. This business is such that it's a retail business where people come and place orders, and they place the orders on certain days, right? That is there in the date field. And I'm going to show you the proper date when the order was placed over here. And there also, these orders which are placed by the customers are shipped out to the customers. They are sent to the customers on certain days. So let's see the exact date when it has been shipped out or sent to the customer. Now I know when the order was placed and I know when the order was sent. I need to know the number of days taken to ship an order that is placed. Okay, it was placed on 7th September, sent out on 13th September. How many days did it take to ship the order? You getting my point? So 6 days. Tableau people, they took 6 days, sorry, Superstore people took 6 days to ship that order. So how do I get that information? Difference between 2 dates. So we can go ahead and create a calculated field. Using the date diff function. Difference between 2 dates in number of days, which states the date when the order was placed and date when the order is shipped out, sent out to the customer. Now, I'm going to show you the answer here. So it took 6 days here, it took 4 days here, it took 4 days here. For this order, they took 6 days. For this order, they took 7 days. Getting it? So we can do such things. Now, suppose I have a data set where the data is stored as separate columns. Year is in a separate field, it's numerical. Month is separate, it's numerical, and day is separate. Now I have to make a date out of it. Rather than storing it separately as individual independent fields, I would like to merge it together into a date. Then what to do? That is where we can use something called as make date function. It will take the year from this field. Okay. It will take the month information from here and day information from this field, and it will transform it into a date. It's going to transform it into a date. And when I see now this is date 2020 and I drill down, I have data for Q1. I have data for these 3 months and these days in those months, whatever is the profit or sales or whatever data we can see. It's neatly organized with the date hierarchy. Okay, so all right, now let's say I have a date, I have a proper date. Now I need only the month part from here. I need to trim the month part. So what do? I go here and use the month function. It will return the month of the date that is given. All the dates in this field, I will get the month part of it now. Okay, but this is a lot of months. Okay, it will show. We have data for all the 12 months. We have data for all the 12 months in every year. Okay, so like that we have a lot of functions which will help us manipulate different sections. So what is the learning path that we follow at Edureka for Tableau? Overall program is divided into 12 modules. The first one is data preparation using Tableau Prep. Tableau Prep is a separate tool that is used to prepare the data for analysis, to clean the data if necessary. And module 2 is data connections with Tableau Desktop, the tool where we create all the graphs. Then we will be looking at some basic visualizations, graphs in module number 3. Along with that, a lot of concepts like sorting, filtering, creating a group, set, hierarchy, etc. Then comes calculations, in which we cover all these functions in detail. So calculations in Tableau, how to manipulate the data, writing small formulae like the ones we are doing now. Then advanced visual analytics. Though Tableau is basically a visualization tool, you can do a lot of things on the analytical front as well. So that is what gets covered in this module. Advanced visual analytics. We have LOD expressions. This by far is the most difficult concept with respect to calculated fields. And in Edureka, we have one full module dedicated to it, a full module with 6 use cases on the application of LOD expressions. Then we have a module where we cover everything about geographical visualizations in Tableau. There's advanced charts that are covered. Basic charts are covered in module 3, advanced charts in module 8. Close to 10 graphs are covered over here. Okay, and then module 9 is where we cover dashboards and stories. How do you create various dashboards in Tableau? Module 10 is where you get some hands-on experience on a very good project. There is one industry-grade project that we work on. Interview questions are given over here, which you can read through. All the modules have hands-on. All the modules have case studies, assignments, quizzes to help you practice after the session is over, to test your knowledge, to what extent are you able to gain it and retain the information that you're obtaining in the class. There's module 11 where we talk about Tableau Online, which is a server platform, and then we also solve one project in module number 12. So these 10 modules are the most important modules though. Okay, type conversion functions. This will help you convert the data type of the field. For example, here we did one example today. We looked at the numerical part of product ID. Tableau did not store that as a number, it stored it as ABC. ABC means according to Tableau, this is a string. So if I have to convert its data type, I will simply wrap this whole expression in a type conversion function. I want the data type to be integer. So whatever I put in integer, the result of that expression will be stored in integer format. Right now, this is text, ABC you can see, and now it is going to be integer. So if it is integer, then I can do some sort of mathematical operations on it. I can use it in numerical calculations. Okay, we can convert the data type of the field like this. Or you can simply click on the icon and choose a different data type. Suppose this is date and I want to make it date and time. Just by selecting this option, it is date and time now. Though we don't have time here, Tableau will use the default time. It will use the default time as 12 a.m. I will show you the time. See, this was date and time, right? So it took the date and took the default time. Suppose I go and change its data type to date. The time part will go away. Only the date part is there. If I make it date and time, the time part also will come up. Getting it? So we can also convert the data type of these fields by using the type conversion functions or simply by selecting that option. We are back on number functions, I think. Aggregate functions, I think I was showing you minimum, I was showing you maximum, average. These are all nothing but aggregate functions. Count, distinct, covariance, maximum, minimum, median. Median is the middle value that divides your data into two parts. Percentile, standard deviation, all this we had discussed. Logical functions. They will help you to write some logic, result of which could be true or false, or it will help you check different conditions. I'll give you one simple example. Let's say I'm looking at the sales made by this business across different subcategories. Now, if the sales is greater than certain value, 250,000, I need to mark it as high sales. If the sales is less than 100,000, I need to mark it as low sales. Then how to do it? I can do it by writing a simple logical functions. Okay, if the sum of sales is greater than 250,000, then it is high sales. Okay, I'm going to mark it as high sales. Then otherwise, one more condition to test. If this condition is true, it will mark it as high sales. If the condition is not true, then it will go into the else if loop and check, is there another condition? The sum of sales is less than 100,000. I would like to mark it as low sales. Okay, I would like to mark it as low sales. If this condition is also not true, then what to do? Else means if none of the above conditions are met, then you mark it as medium sales. Okay, then you mark it as medium sales and N. So what is going to happen? It will check. It will check the sales of each member against the formula that we have written. Is this greater than 250,000? Yes. So this is high sales. Is this greater than 250,000? No, it's not greater than 250. So it will go into the next condition. Is it less than 100,000? That is also not true. Then it will mark it as medium sales. Getting it? So like that, we can write the formula. And when I take it to color shelf, you can see different colors assigned to them. High sales members, let's give them green color. Low sales, I'll keep it red. And medium sales, let us gray it out. High, medium, and low sales over here. Okay. Now, is there a need to indent and be very careful when you're writing step by step and all? It's not required in Tableau. The indentation is just so that you can understand the formula well. I did it. Even if you write the entire expression in a single line, Tableau will accept. Okay, there is no need to do indentation or anything like that. The whole thing in one single statement also will give you the same output. So we can do this, the whole thing in a single statement also. Okay, so logical function. Like that, we can use even another expression called as case statement. When you're testing multiple conditions, you can use case statement also. If, else, and this is all like one group of functions. Is null, very interesting function. It will return true if the expression is null. Okay, for example, how do you handle nulls in Tableau? This is something that you come across pretty often. How do we handle nulls? What do we do when we come across nulls? So let's say these are some departments and this is the profit made by the departments. There are two departments which are not dealing with money. There is nothing there. They are not dealing with money. It is null. It is blank. Now, how do I represent it in the graph? We have many options. These are the names of the departments and their profits. Wherever there is null, I can replace it with a 0. So one option is Zn. What will it do? If I wrap this expression, sum of profit, in Zn function, wherever null is there, it will replace it with 0. 0 when null. Okay, whenever there is null, it will replace it with a 0. Then there is one more function called as is null. It will check, is the data in that field null? If it is null, it will give you true. If it is not null, it will give you false. Okay, you can see everything false, not null. True is null. If it is true, it is null. It is coming in a different color wherever we had null. Then If null, what to do? If it is null, can I replace it with something else? If at all, the data, if it is not null, it will give me the profit. If it is null, I want to replace it with something else. So I can do it. Suppose I want to replace it with the average sales, average profit, right? So wherever there is null, I just want to show the average of profit in that place. That's my requirement. This formula is a little complex, as I was telling you about something called as LOD that is getting involved over here. So what will this do? It will check. If profit is not null, it will show me the profit value. If it is null, then it is going to compute the average of the data in that column and return that to me. This is little complex. It involves LOD and all that. So now let's take it here. So this is the average. -100 plus 200 plus 0 plus 100 divided by 4, right? Average 50. So if you have null data, you can understand whether it is true or false. Is it null or not null? So I can have that one segment false or true. Accordingly, I can do something. I can replace null with 0 if I'm using Zn. I can replace null with any value of my choice if I'm using the if null function. Like that, you have different options. Yeah, sample data, Superstore is available. Other data sources are just tiny data sources which I created only to explain certain concepts in the class. If you want to take a screenshot of this, the data source has just these two columns in it, department and profit. This is the data in the data source. This is the result of the calculated fields. You can create it in a small Excel sheet. You can create and try it out if you're trying it. Okay. So I hope you all understood this part. Is null and all, if null and Zn. Yeah, that is about functions. And all right, thank you so much for attending the session today. Thank you all so much.